I see these huge public weddings. It's a humiliation ritual for the man. He ends up on one knee, worshiping her, giving her a diamond he can barely afford, begging a woman he's been paying for years to stay with him. Of course she said, yes, you idiot, she's living in your fucking house. And then after that, she humiliates him publicly forever by showing how much she can control him as he stands there spending his life savings, putting her in a dress and giving all her friends a fucking great time and promising that he's gonna stick by her no matter what, while she stands there as the princess going, great, I've got a husband. And the second she's unhappy, the very first second she's unhappy, what does she do? Leave. So what the fuck are you even marrying her for? You must be out your fucking mind. The marriage contract was simple. I get a virgin who obeys me, and then I'll marry her and pay her bills. That was the contract. It seems that men are still prepared to take care of a woman and pay her bills, but I can't seem to find any obedient virgins out there. So it looks like women have broken the marriage contract. Not me, not men. Women have broken it. Women are the ones who you can't trust to marry. Would you, if I were to tell you this is the smartest man in the world? Hello, his name is, let's think of a fictional name, Andrew Tate. He's the smartest man in the world. He's the most logical, rational man on the planet. You can always speak to him in a very rational, logical way. You're never gonna argue with the guy. He's very sensible. But you have to never disagree with this person, ever. Because if you do, he will have the legal capability to destroy your life and take half of everything you've ever earned. Would you sign that contract? No. No. So if I say, let's forget the rational man. If I say, here's a chick on antidepressants who's been through God knows how many in college, who's randomly depressed because of the time of the month, who watches endless Matrix psyops all day and doesn't want a job and expects you to pay for her life. Would you trust her to never ever argue with her ever and her be able to take half of your net worth if you ever broke up? No. Well then what the so this is the point we're in. So what the are people even doing? And then the conservative Christians attack me. Andrew's anti-marriage. Andrew's bad for society. Andrew's anti-marriage. I'm pro-men. So if you want to make me pro-marriage, make marriage pro-men again. I don't give a what dipshit conservative Christian whose wife is going to a church group begging for more immigrants to come across the border, who's going to sit there and say, I'm a real man because I'm married and I got married in church. That's great for you. Perhaps in a different generation, that was the way it worked. If you got married in 1968, I'm sure it's different than if you get married today. This is 2020 motherfucker. Log into TikTok, sir. You'll learn that things are very different. The advice that these boomers are giving the young men is only going to get them wrecked. Things have changed. I will not be pro-marriage until I see it being until I see men's rights respected within the marriage. Because I'm a realist and I'm pro-man. That's what I am. I'm not against loving women. I'm not against having children. I would argue I love more women and have more children than 99.9% of people on the planet. What I'm against is bad business deals and getting wrecked down to societal pressure from some old gray-haired dipshit who married his high school sweetheart in Nebraska in 1972. The world's different now. Things have changed. So marriage is never coming back until they make it a pro-masculine thing. The whole point of being a husband to a woman is so that he could be her husband. No. A man's job, in fact, if you look at 85% of a man's job, it's simply the word no. I want to go out here. No. I want to do that. No. I saw this on TV. No. Can I go? No. That's your job. That's how you protect her. The 85% of a man's job is telling a woman no. So how can you be a husband if you can't tell her no? How can you be a husband if you can't say no? Because that's all I could do. My whole job to my children, to the mothers of my children, to all my girlfriends, to all my women, all I do most of the time is say no. Can I go? Nope. Can I have candy, Daddy? Nope. No, no's my favorite fucking word. Because the masculine imperative is no. Let's take it away from relationships. When the enemy horde, when the enemy army tries to invade our lands, we stand at the border with a spear saying no. That's what we've always done. No, this is mine. No, you can't talk to her, she's mine. No, this country's mine. No, this house is mine. No, that's all we've ever done. If you're a yes man, you're not a fucking man. Happy wife, happy life just makes a homo hanging around with his girl best friend. If you're gonna sit there saying happy life, happy wife, whatever, if you're gonna sit there doing whatever your woman wants, if you're gonna be giving her TikTok marriages, if you're gonna be trying your very best to have a perma smile on her face, you're not her fucking husband. You know what you are? You're her best friend. And from my memory of high school, the guy who was best friends with a chick was gay. So if you want to be a homosexual, yeah, you can be married to a woman, you can have sporadic sex every few weeks, you're still gay to me. Because a man who's in charge of his relationship is saying no. He's not her best friend. He is her guardian. He is her protector. I'm not my woman's best friend. I don't give a shit about most of the things she gives a shit about. I see her laugh at something on TikTok. I say, what is that? And she'll show me, and I'll be flabbergasted at how infantile. But what the turn that crap off. No, that's what I'll say. No more TikTok. If you've laughed in the car, it's not funny, turn it off. Sorry, she'll turn it off. Women actually have no problem with this. Women have I'm not forcing anyone to do anything. Any of these women can leave me anytime they want, but they don't want to leave because they're protected and they're provided for and they're happy they have a guardian. They like having somebody. The number of times they come to me and say, I hear my other friends talk and I'm so glad I have you. Because when my other girlfriends talk, they're saying things and I'm just so glad you've corrected me and you fixed my brain and I'm not thinking like they think. I'm like, yeah, that's why they're jumping on and you're not. That's exactly right. So the average man now in his household can't say no to anything. Can't even say no to his own kids. If he tells his kids no, they go tell the teacher. Before you know it, he loses his kids. What fucking society is this? What world is this? Where are any of the governors? Where are any of our leadership standing up saying, no, we need to protect men again? Nobody gives a about us, but most is expected of us from society. That's what's so amazing to me, that we have been psyoped into self-sacrifice, destroying our bodies on building sites and giving our entire consciousness away to 60 years of manual labor for governments, women, and children who don't respect us at all. And when a man finally gets to a position of power, instead of trying to protect men's rights, they attack me, who's trying to do that job. They attack me, and they think that makes them a tough guy. Byron, Ron, and the AG talking about being tough guys. Saying, oh no, Andrew's not a real alpha male. I'm a real alpha male because I'm sticking up for girls. You're full of shit. You're full of shit. And they're all full of shit. And luckily, God's watching all of them because they will pay the price for this betrayal. Because I'm a good person who's doing the right thing. I didn't have to say any of this shit. I was rich before I fucking did podcasts. I had hundreds of millions of dollars before DCOT took as much of it as they could. I've done nothing but detriment my own life for saying what I think. What have I gained? A terrible reputation in the MSM with fucking lies and slander, jail time, house arrest, bail, and a huge percentage of my assets seized. They took almost 5% of my money. That was upsetting.
Yeah.
I mean 5% is not that much, but it's still over $25 million. It annoyed me. Why? Because I sit there and say that men should pick up for themselves?